Hello everyone, I'm Hugo.
I'm Jay.
And this is Ask Hugo number 50! We did it!
Wait, that was a mark?
I guess.
Oh.
First
Okay.
question.
Sean Wingrove asked Hugo, is there a reason he kind of just asked the universe, is there a reason Hugo hasn't gotten a denture to replace his missing tooth? The fascination with your lack of a tooth is, it's beginning to be bizarre to me. In year 5, I am now beginning to not understand why people ask.
It's because there's not enough room for one there. I'd have to get some sort of adult
To be fair, it
brace.
looks like there's enough room for one.
It looks like there's enough room for
but
a
you
proper
have
tooth.
kind of wide teeth as is.
It's actually not, because I actually went in to get sized for one, and they're like, yeah, that's not big enough. It'll look weird. It'll look like a midget
like a
skinny
baby tooth?
It would look odd, they said, so...
Honestly, midget tooth is kind of funnier than not a tooth.
Okay, I don't know if you guys know this, but I also, live life like a human being.
In the world?
So my goal with my face is not, what's the funniest I could look? Because believe it or not,
No way.
you know, I don't want to be ridiculed everywhere I go for no reason.
Do you think people do ridicule you? I don't think about it. But I know you, so I don't...
In their head, they're probably like, that guy's got a really red face and no tooth. What a
You
weird
have
guy.
that red of a face. I've seen redder faces.
I've seen redder faces too, but I've seen less red faces far more often.
I hope someone walked into the room while you were watching this at that time and thought, like, are they bad-mouthing the Native Americans?
Obviously.
Clearly. Alexander Tigerstone from the Discord. Dear Hugo and Jake, do you guys think that the majority of the reason people only see furries as sexual deviants because of media such as the show CSI Miami? What? What can only be legally described as a furry fetish party, legally, because it's not like it's an unknown fact that many fandoms have a deviant side to them. It only seems like the furries/bronies are more likely to be shown as sexual deviants than the other fandoms. This is definitely a furry.
This is a furry
That's fine.
who does not have enough self-awareness. So
Live your life.
let me explain.
Yeah.
People don't see furries
Mm-hmm.
as sexual. For one thing, let me just make something clear. I'm cool with all your kinks. I'm cool with all your hobbies, whether you're a furry and just,
Unless your kink is to rape other people.
Sure. If you're a furry who just likes anthropomorphic animals, okay, cool. If you're a furry that likes to fuck other people animal suits, whatever. But
Yep.
you have to also look at yourself and say, the thing I find sexually appealing is odd.
Sure.
And that's okay.
Yeah. Well, also,
it's not because of CSI Miami or whatever.
I've never even seen what you're talking about. I think another reason is clearly Alexander Tigerstone, the person with the cat avatar, and I don't want you to think I'm attacking you, because I'm not. I don't care that you're a furry. You seem like a nice person. I've seen you around the Discord and other facets. What it is it's always like 100% of the person's personality is furry, right? You know who else is a furry? Is Adam from Your Movie Sucks.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't know it because that's his thing. That's not his personality. It's just a thing he likes.
Sure.
It's a community he's part of. He goes to a lot of the cons and stuff. That is my type of furry.
I would also put money on the amount of furries who do jerk it to yiff porn or
that
stuff.
aren't just all I'm a furry.
I would imagine most people who are furries to one level or another jerk it to yiff porn. And some of them do not.
Sure.
I could be wrong. I'm just saying.
But
you're using the word sexual deviant like
it's
not.
Like at least for us, it's not the deviancy, and most people on the more liberal side of sexuality.
It's deviant in the sense that it's abnormal, but that's not wrong. It's just a little weird and quirky, and people are gonna probably laugh at it sometimes.
Sure.
But that's because it's funny. Have a sense of humor about yourself. You like anthropomorphic animals, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's furries, bronies, weebs, any other person that makes themselves just one thing. It's kind of, that's the problem, I think, right?
Yeah.
Radical Larry. You better be pretty radical. Dear Hugo, you've mentioned on the show before that you have anxiety, so I hope this isn't too personal a question. Too late now. I also have problems with chronic anxiety and depression, and one of the things that helps me most, besides meds, is playing resource management style video games. Are there a specific type of game that you like to play to reduce stress or anxiety? Wishing you well. Keep fighting the good fight.
This stuck out to me because I didn't realize,
You do
I
that.
guess, until this, I fucking love idle games and like clicky games and any game where there's like a slow progression.
I don't understand the clicky game thing, but
I'm gonna look
I
on my phone.
I do understand the resource
Let's see. I'm gonna
management.
count the number of I have on my phone right now. Adventure Communist, Assembly Line. I used to have Adventure Capitalist on here too, but I got bored of it. Bacterial Takeover.
Yeah, you gotta seize the means of production.
Cell Lab. Idle Miner. Grow Castle, which is a cast tower defense.
Did you get a
type game.
Keemstar fidget spinner game?
No, Plague Inc., where it's that game where you create a disease and have to upgrade it, and yeah, so that just makes me wonder, like, is that an anxiety-driven thing? Do people with anxiety like that? I guess I never thought about it, but it keeps my mind off stuff when I'm just sitting there doing nothing. I don't intentionally do that, but I do play a lot of those games.
Yeah, I don't know. I like sports games, but I don't have anxiety. At least not clinical anxiety. I get anxious at times. But...
Sure. Other than that, I also just play, like, normal video games. I'm actually playing Star Trek Online right now.
How's that?
I'm enjoying it. I played it.
We played
for a
it
while
very briefly together
on PC. Now I'm playing it on PlayStation. I like the controls a lot better. Surprisingly, it's kind of fun, and it's free now. So
of course it is.
Check it out.
All right. ZACK, dear Jake, what does Hugo smell like? Could you describe it in great detail? God damn it. Okay. Did you freshen up for this?
Yes.
But that means maybe it's not what you smell like normally. I don't usually sniff. Where am I sniffing?
Where do you want to sniff?
Nah, nowhere.
They didn't specify. I'm not going to tell you where to sniff me. You have to decide. I can't force this upon you.
Well, that just smells like your detergent. That's not you. Give me your chest.
No, the touching's too much. The touching's too much. Okay. All right.
It smells so good. Nagi asks, Dear Hugo and Jake, sorry if this question is a little too personal or uncomfortable. What is with people prefacing this, and why did you pick them?
Because the rest of the question was good. I'm sorry they're trepidatious. Have more confidence, audience. Have more confidence in your questions. Unless they're shitty, then
don't.
Then backtrack.
Maybe write it, read it over, and then add the qualifier. Don't just start there. Okay. I've talked with a few people online about stuff my parents have done, and almost everyone has told me that I'm undergoing emotional abuse and manipulation in an attempt to get me to reconvert to Christianity. I'm too young to move out, and I wouldn't if I could because I have a hard time condemning them for their actions since they genuinely believe I'm going to hell and are trying to save me. I know that sounds bad. Not really. So I guess my question is how I should view this whole situation. Are they good people or bad people? Again, sorry if this is too personal. Personal for you, right?
Yeah, interesting. I guess you didn't give an age based on this, but
Too young to move out. I'm thinking teens.
Teens
That's our demo.
Or early 20s, maybe. I think you're getting to the age where are they a good person or a bad person? How should I view this situation? Isn't really a question that makes sense. Because in the real world, there isn't such a thing as good people or bad people objectively.
Most times, I'd say. Yeah. ISIS probably bad.
Your parents are probably doing some things that they feel, and their intentions are good, that they feel are good for you. However, the effects of that can be negative, which is bad. It's not up to you to necessarily determine if they're good or bad people. What you need to focus on is making sure that you are okay in that situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah. If they're good or bad for you.
Yeah, and I understand it's difficult. I have complicated parental relationships as well. But I don't know.
I say wait until you can and then divorce yourself from that situation, and if they come around, they come around.
I think that's probably...
I mean, do you want to live your whole life for your parents or for yourself? And that's the real question, and it should be for yourself.
Yeah.
And then eventually it could be for other people that deem it worthy, but I mean... the fact that you're even asking this question probably means that you're just looking for someone to tell you to tell them to fuck off, so tell them to fuck off. I mean, not in those words. I'm just saying, you know.
I would say to them, listen, I understand that you're concerned for me, but the way that you're going about it is not constructive, and frankly, it doesn't really make me think that highly of Christianity in the first place, as this is how you're going to try and turn people over to it. So if you, and you could even say to them, if you have something you want me to read or something, maybe I'll do it and we can have a discussion about it, but I'm not going to be berated where I live because that's not okay, because your home is a place where you're supposed to, feel safe and secure.
That's just a long way to say fuck off,
Yeah.
by the way. And it's a little bit nicer.
And if as you get older and you do move out, they continue to badger you in ways that make you feel uncomfortable, then cut them out of your life.
Yeah. I feel like people are scared of that, but I don't know why. I mean, it's weird to me that people are like, if I don't have connection with this person, it's gonna be bad. I've never experienced a bad separation of someone in my life where I was like when they were being that way, not just religious, just being a shitty person in general. When you just don't have them around, then it's better.
Agreed.
Right? Like I've no guilt whatsoever.
No.
Yeah. So maybe that's just a me thing. Maybe I'm a sociopath. I don't know. You gonna murder someone later? Me either. I was just checking. Mr. Stubix! Hey, Hugo and Hank. Did you see the Falcon Heavy launch? If you did, what were your opinions on it? I like the car part.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, it's the company called SpaceX.
SpaceX?
This is SpaceX. Anyway, it's Elon Musk's rocket organization. And if you haven't seen, it's a very interesting launch. They launched somehow differently than they normally do. Sorry, I don't follow Elon Musk and his whole little cavalcade.
Are you telling me you're not a transhumanist?
Listen, Elon Musk, thank you for putting money into research and things for the future. I really appreciate that.
Sure.
But I feel some people make it a little culty.
No.
And it skews me out. But anyway, the launch was very cool. The rockets, the boosters that got it up there, both of them landed in tandem. If you haven't seen this, it's fucking amazing. They have rocket boosters, which normally, in the past, we've had to get rid of them because they blow off the sides of the ship when you're done using them and they land in the ocean or whatever, and they're not used again. What SpaceX has been trying to do is lower the costs of spaceflight by making things reusable. So instead of once the rockets are done and they fall into the ocean, they and then land vertically.
Yeah, they've been doing this for like a year and a half, 2 years. But
imagine a rocket ship that goes up like an Apollo rocket ship, but it fucking lands. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. It's truly an engineering sight to see. It is a marvel of modern engineering and science, and
it really is interesting. And then, of course, he put his Tesla in the cap of one of them to test the load. They had to have a for weight purposes and just to see if it could do it. They had a load at the cone of the ship itself, and as part publicity stunt, part troll, they put his personal Tesla Roadster in the nose cone, and then put a mannequin in a spacesuit, and then it played Into the Vacuum of Space, Starman by David Bowie, which is interesting. So I don't know, it was it was interesting. The best part to come out of that, in my opinion, was a bunch of flat earthers got really upset because there was like globe Earth in the shots.
Yeah.
Because of course there was.
Because the Earth is a globe.
Yeah.
I like that there's now also, did you know the orbit it's taking?
Yeah.
It's taken an orbit, the similar orbit to Mars. It's not actually orbiting Mars itself, but it's in the same orbit as Mars around the sun.
It's gonna get as close as Earth and as far out as Mars, basically.
That's just in space now until something hits it, and that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like a real life Bertrand's teapot, but there is one, and it's a car.
By the way,
David Bowie.
I don't know what the difference is between the other ones and this Falcon Heavy one, except that they landed in tandem.
As far as I understand, the side rockets, the boosters, they had already tested those.
Right.
It was the middle section. In the middle section, they could not recover, but it was an early test for that part, so that didn't go well. But still.
Right, but I mean, I don't know what's different between that and the other rocket tests.
Was
this leading up to this?
Yes, I
and
believe
this
so.
was those were other disparate parts,
smaller,
and then this is all together at the same time.
Those are smaller boosters, and I believe they're doing it separately, and then that was all together.
These were just bigger.
And the middle section they could.
By the way, seeing space journalists at the site when Canaveral, which I used to live very near, I literally worked in Cape Canaveral for 2 years. Seeing them freak out at the sonic booms, just the landings in general. Just seeing these nerds like actually like kind of like train people. You know that one video that went viral, the yellow train goes by and the guy goes, "Woo!"
Yeah.
It's like that, but without the cringe.
Yeah.
Because it's super actually cool. So yeah.
Hey, that yellow train was fucking rad.
It wasn't a rocket.
That-
A train has never been in space.
For that guy, it might as well have been.
Triceratopolopagus. I did that in one shot. Dear Hugo and Jake, my roommate is beginning to say things like, this many school shootings just doesn't seem logical. Maybe they are staged. And Nazism is a legitimate political movement with legitimate concerns. And not all slavery was bad, unironically. At first I could brush it off, but now he's being obnoxious about it. Should I sit him down and ask him who's telling him these things, ignore it because there's nothing I can do, or do what I deeply desire to do and slap him with a fish? Well, that last one, I thought it was going to say fist.
You don't slap with fists.
Well, you
That's
can.
called a punch.
A back
I'd
fist?
still call that a... That's
It's a backhanded punch? Anyway.
I can tell you who's telling them this. Probably 4chan.
Oh, well, 4chan, alt-right Twitter, InfoWars, Breitbart,
Yeah.
Fox News.
I would start
dad.
questioning him on these things. I'd start saying, why do you say, like anything, question why
Socratic.
he thinks that. Socratic, as we always say. And if it gets really severe, I would sit him down and say, listen, I'm concerned you're sort of going down a really dark rabbit hole, and most people are not going to follow you down, so please reconsider some of this stuff and have an honest conversation. If this is a friend that you care about, you don't want to see him go down that path. It ends in just sadness, neckbeards, and piss bottles.
Why piss bottles? Like he's just trapped in his room and he won't leave?
He's not trapped.
Oh, well,
He's
I mean...
voluntarily
in his own...
home and will not walk to the bathroom. Just saying. It's a real thing that happens.
Okay. Well, I guess we should. Okay. So are the shootings staged, Hugo?
No, they're
You
not.
don't. I'm sorry. You don't think that we have a gun problem?
We do have a gun
Wait
problem.
a second. Are you trying to take my guns right now?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. Nazism is a legitimate political movement with legitimate concerns. The concerns of the Nazi regime were to fucking... It was to take their home from the Jews. And to kick those Jews out and anyone else, but mostly the Jews.
And also...
Like Mein Kampf is like, fuck the Jews, the book.
Are a lot of Trump voters worried about the economics of post-war Germany?
Post-World War I Germany, specifically. Yeah.
I understand. I know you're talking about modern Nazis. I just think it's funny because people say, like...
But modern Nazi, are you talking about white nationalists?
White nationalist, yes. Which people will often label as Nazis, though that is not
Well,
what
no,
it
I
is.
know. Well, I know, but I'm saying... Well, this is a quote. Nazism is a legitimate political movement. I'm assuming that person said Nazism is a legitimate...
If they did, they're an idiot.
So, but I think current white nationalism is what we talk about when we say a Nazi says this is
Sure.
good.
Probably they're talking about some of their main talking points, like the BS white genocide stuff.
Crime in Chicago.
Yeah.
Which has to do with the gun laws!
Also one of the biggest fucking cities in the country outside of New York.
Wait
and
a
LA
second!
has
Are
high
you here to tell me that population density contributes to violence?
I had to... Last year during the election when I was still talking, to he who will not be named. Yes, my dad...
Valderdad.
My dad is Voldemort. Anyway, we fucking had a discussion, and we were talking about, is it more dangerous to live in Flint or Chicago? And I had to explain the difference between... It's like he doesn't understand what the word rate means. He doesn't understand a rate and per capita. Like, those are words that almost... It's like it shuts his brain down. He's like, but this number's higher than this number.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what do the numbers mean?
And where are they in that set of numbers? Like, there are neighborhoods in those where it, like, would ping red instead of green to live in. Like, do you think the area, like, the affluent suburb, Chicago, you know, that's still technically within Chicago city limits, is the one that has all the crime? Probably not. It's the poor parts. And where the poor parts happen to be literally one generation away from when fucking black people had barely any rights. Probably the fucking black parts of Chicago.
Don't worry, though. Volder Dad's not racist.
Volder
he had
Dad's...
2 black friends over 30 years
That's
ago.
That's real. You told me that the other day. That's real. Okay, so anyway, not all slavery was bad. This sounds like a Christian. Not all slavery was bad. You know, not all slavery. What slavery isn't bad?
What part of taking away someone's own self-determination and taking away their freedom and claiming a person as property, explain in what situation that is okay? I'm guessing your friend's not going to have a good answer for that. At best, they'll come up with some sort of indentured servitude in terms of...
That was bad.
That was bad.
That was bad. Like, literally pick up any book. Pick up Harry Potter and you will discover why indentured servitude is bad.
Dobby. I was just going to say.
Dobby and the other one. But I forget his name.
No.
Dobby beats him up in the kitchen. I remember that. Anyway, god damn it. Delicious Tide Pod, asks Hugo. If America continues, it's the pods. They're getting to the tenses. Yeah. Tense part of the brain is fucked up. If America continues down this road of shitty non-politician presidents, would you guys ever move to a different country? If so, where? First of all, I don't think you're on a road when it's built out of 2 presidents.
Who's the first one?
Reagan.
Oh, okay.
He was an actor, but he was also a politician first.
He's talking about, because last Ask Hugo was about Oprah, when there was
that makes sense.
About Oprah.
I see, but that's still it's not a road until they're voted.
Okay, sure.
Right now you're at city planning.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not opposed to moving to a different country, but I'm also not one of those people who's like, I want to, Yeah. I would rather fix the things in my country and at least attempt to first. If I find it to be a lost cause, fuck yeah, I'd get out of here, but...
I think Canada seems nice. It's cold, but England's nice too, but fucking, they're all so negative and limey.
Also, costs a lot of money to move to a different country.
It really does.
You know that?
We're starting a Kickstarter to... make Hugo and Jake refugees of a different country.
Well, let's go to Somalia.
We'd live like kings.
Super libertarian.
We'd live like kings as fuck. Oh, dude, yeah. If you're a libertarian, go to Somalia.
Let's go to Somalia and let's bring some...
Let's just take it over.
Let's bring some class back to pirating.
Back a little bit of class, not a ton, because part of the allure of pirating is like we get to be a little stinky, we get to be a little like rakish, right? So not a ton, but like bring the frilly stuff back, you know?
Yeah.
Bring some of like the big hats and with the feathers in them. But I still want to like you already have the tooth out. I'm gonna have to lose mine probably in a ship fight.
No, you got to cut a leg off.
I want the whole leg.
Just this part. So
well, okay.
Enough for a peg.
I'm not diabetic, but my grandma was. So maybe somewhere down the line we'll have to lop it off.
Peg foot it.
Yeah, she's the only one though, so I'm not really at risk.
I've never seen a peg foot.
Either. Now I'm kind of on board with Pegfoot. My ankle on the right side does hurt a lot. I tore my Achilles in high school and never been the same. So maybe if that just gets like, fuck this, pirating is hard on the ankle, we'll just lop her off and we'll start with a peg foot. And I'll still have the bottom part. We'll still have the hinge. And then we'll work up to the below the knee as it slowly gets necrotic because we're not medical doctors.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
My plan B is, honestly though, if the overton window continues to shift towards the right, then yeah, I'm out this bitch.
I don't think it's going to, though.
I hope not. Any further right, bad things start happening.
Wait a second. Are you here to tell me that the alt-right isn't the correct right? It's okay.
We've been smug enough. They get it.
We've been smug? Have we been smug? Is that smug?
Apparently calling Nazis bad guys is smug now.
Nazis are bad guys. To be fair, we also disagree with, like, really far left regimes, but that we don't have one to worry about right now, so...
No.
So, I mean, unless you guys are like, literally, Anita, we don't have to worry about it.
Anyway, fan art of the week.
There it is. Am I wasting my life? Yeah.
That's a
good one. I like this. It's sort of, I was gonna hold it up. It's on the screen.
Yeah.
It's sort of got this Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, I really like the art style.
Like new Scooby-Doo.
I love it. If you want to do more of those,
yeah,
I will love them.
Also, there was definitely a hand, but it got deleted.
Yeah, maybe they couldn't quite get it right. That's
I mean,
fine.
it looks like a good ass hand to me. I'm
Rob
not an artist.
Liedfeld can't do feet. This guy can't do hands. The world goes round.
Liedfeld?
Rob Liedfeld,
No idea who that is.
comic guy from the 90s.
What do you do?
He invented Deadpool.
He can't do feet? Is that why everyone wore boots?
So a lot of the time, they were just the shots would be like, from
Oh,
here
I
up.
see.
And when he does do feet, it's always like, those are
Those are
the
weird.
proportions
They're
are weird.
really skinny and weird.
Did Liedfeld do now? Now that's gonna throw me off.
See, I don't know who that is.
Okay, fuck
I'm not
it.
correcting you. I have literally
You know what?
no idea.
If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. I don't care.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, there seems to be this. Well, yeah, we can put that in a second. There seems to be this idea that we always have to be right because we have a camera. You can have a camera too. It's fine. You can be wrong. It's okay.
Everyone should also go and subscribe over at Unpopular Culture,
Oh,
our
yeah.
other channel,
Things are happening.
because my first ever solo project is coming out there in the next couple days.
I'm looking forward to it.
2 to 4 days.
Of course, you got him.
Yeah, and this will be involved. So
Yeah. That's, you know what? I haven't seen one of these since like the early 2000s. I cannot believe they still. Not only do they make them, this is really high quality.
I was surprised by the quality. I was like, holy shit, they're still producing these.
By the way, this would rub your tits right off if you played basketball.
Oh, I
it would
would
rub
imagine- I
the
would
fucking
imagine.
just. You'd have the roughest most sanded tits.
You know what I bet this was? This is probably overstock Halloween costumes from last year because
Can I shoot B-roll of you dribbling a basketball in this?
I was already gonna, but if you want to hold the camera.
Nah, never mind. You're good. Because I just want to see what happens when you poke at the basketball.
It's also winter out.
Are you gonna shoot one? Are you gonna shoot a hoop?
Don't worry about it. Watch the video. You'll find out when they do.
You haven't watched my fucking review of Case for Christ yet.
I know. I'm actually gonna before I shoot this.
Good. You ought to.
I will.
It's really great. I did a good job.
Everyone tell Jake what a good job he did.
Everyone did already. You didn't notice.
Good job, Jake. You can follow him at Papa Bird Jake on Twitter, me at Hugo Reloaded.
Correct. I also do solo stuff on Unpop too, but then we do joint stuff on Unpop as well.
Yeah. Link to our Discord, which is a lot of fun. I think we got like 2,000 people there now.
Yesterday, I don't know what we are today, but yesterday we were 9 away from 2,000, which is actually a pretty large Discord. So if you are into that, and we do show up there and talk to fans, I yelled at a libertarian the other day. So if you're a libertarian and want me to yell at you because you think NASA is a human rights violation, but you also don't believe that wealth is a human right, which is conflicting to me because you thought that the taxation... Don't worry about it. Anyway, you're wrong, but I'm right, and that's okay. Come to Discord where I can be right, and we can all suck Jake's dick. Wait a second, that's not how it works.
I'll be there sometimes.
Yeah.
Generally with an emoji because I am socially awkward and do not know how to start conversations.
But you are pretty good at ending videos. Right? Send us off. Just anything that happened that comes to your mind.
Until next time, I'm Hugo.
Well, that's kind of cheap. I'm Jake. Just say the last part.
The last part.
It's not quite. One more time.
This has been Ask Hugo number 50. Hugo and Jake.
I thought you said 15 for a second. It was 50, though.
It was 50.
Oh. That's too many.
We can get great deals on early
Stop
bird-
it! That was a me thing! And you kiboshed it.
Yeah, because those are middle-aged jokes. These are senior jokes.
Coffee's only 69 cents. I mean, that's a good deal.
So good deal!
Good deal!
Just gotta go have dinner, supper at 4 p.m.
What accent is that?
Supper at 4 p.m. at the Old Country Buffet. Gotta get us down to the Roadhouse for their fucking chocolate fountain so my 7 grandkids could pee in it.
Dude, we should go to the new Golden Corral.
Oh, I'd rather die.